Hey, welcome back to our YouTube channel Yegobox. It has been a while, so now wasalimia mwese muri kuwatchinga this video. So I'm trying to speak Swahili because I came to realize that this video that I'm creating will be watched by African fellows. So I think it makes sense for me to speak Swahili. So I hope you're doing well. So with my return in Swahili. So this video, I'm going to focus on two things. This is Flutter Basics. And now, as you know, on this channel, I talk about software development, focusing on Flutter and backend development. And today video, I'm going to focus on the basics. So I've seen people when they're starting to learn Flutter, they don't know where to start, and they feel overwhelmed with the Flutter widget, which is really understandable because in some situation you have no idea where to get started from. And this is why I'm here to help you, to guide you on how you can get started with Flutter and how you can probably have the backend experience, because at one time, Flutter is front-end uh, framework that you can use to build websites or Android application, iOS. Then on other side, that is not enough for you to be able to develop a software. So it is in that case you need to build something that called an API. So an API will be the middle man, or something that working behind the scene, something that a user will not see, but that will just process all the information and give the result to the customers. So a lot of time when I discuss with junior developer, I always find that they have no this link between technologies, like Spring Boot and Flutter, or you don't know anything at all, but you know that this technology exists there, and you don't know where you're going to start from. And that is why it is very important to have someone like me who can guide you to during the journey, or knowing how you're going to connect the dots in order to be able to navigate through this environment of software engineering. And that's where I'm going to focus a lot, and maybe I can add value somehow, and maybe give a little bit of clarification of what we can do and how you can bring these skills you have so that you can be able to become a software engineer you have dreamed to be. So, without just talking too much of things, so I want to start with a little bit of discussion. How do we start a project? Starting a project seems like intimidating and is so hard for software engineers who are starting to know where to start from, especially when you have a lot of things, like a lot of technologies. Nowadays, there is Flutter, React, Cordova, JavaScript framework, TypeScript, and so on. There's a lot of technologies that you can choose from. And when it comes to the back end, there is a little bit of bias according to who you talk to and what is the intention this person has. For example, if you talk to someone who is experienced with Java, and he's all going to only tell you that Java is the master for everything, and that's true. You can do a lot of things, but uh, don't never feel like you are tied to a technology. A technology is there to help you fix or build something. It's just like a tool. So, when you're choosing a tool for something, you better choose the best tool for the job. And that's how I look any programming language that you can choose to learn. It doesn't matter which programming language you choose to learn. What is really important for you is to pick one language and be able to master it, so that it is easy for you to understand the algorithm and data structure within the programming language you chose from. And that is really crucial for software developers who are starting and who want to become a world-class software engineer. So in this video, as you say, is you see the title is saying that it is a Flutter Basics. So basically, Flutter Basics, I'm going to talk about how you start with a Flutter project, and because my orientation be to guide you to become a world-class software engineer, regardless of what programming language you are going to end up with. The important to me is how you start a project. What are the basic things you need to take care of? So I suppose that now this is the first time you hear about Flutter, and no matter what, you need to build a project in it. So because the best way to learn programming language or to become a software engineer is to write codes. There is no way around. I have seen that many people really try to do a lot of things behind, and what happens is that sometimes they end up not um, focusing on something that is so important, which is to build projects and learn from doing. So the first thing I'm going to do is to use the terminal. So never use something graphical if you are starting. This is really important. That this is why you see that I'm opening the PowerShell on my computer, because I know it is very important for someone who is especially starting to do something a little bit difficult in order to for you to understand what is going on in everything you're doing. So for example, I'm going to use this command called mkdirl, which is the command that is going to help me to create the directory. So I like to organize myself when I create project. For example, I'll be creating Flutter project, Flutter tutorial. This is going to be the folder. So this is the command to create the folder on your local machine. So this is really important. Not only this command is going to help you to know how you can create a folder without a graphical interface, but it's going to be used in other careers that you can be in. Let's say that there are server administration or something like that, where you'll be dealing with the servers that has no graphical user interface. So you can see that by using the terminal, not only you are becoming good software engineer, not wasting the time clicking in different places, but you're going to use the terminal and move faster compared to anyone who is going to just go to the mouse and click here and there. But having the knowledge of terminal is going to serve you in long term. So I highly recommend for anyone who is starting to always think about using the terminal. So I'm going to create the folder, and you can see that by pressing enter on my keyboard, I'm able to just see the folder created. You can see the timestamp and you can see the more. So I'm not going to go much deeper in technical specification of how the mkdirl is going to work, but in simple terms, this is a Linux command. So I'm going to go inside the folder I created, and that's how you do it. So you type cd and you type Flutter and you type the tab on your keyboard. Is going to prompt you the suggestions, and you choose the folder you have created recently. So, and this is how you CD or you move to or you go inside the folder you created. So now we are ready. Now we have our folder ready. And the first thing that I like to do, but not necessary actually, but this happen mostly when you're trying to understand the content of the folder. The first thing you do is to type this command called ls. So this command is going to help us to understand what is the content of this folder. So by understanding the content of this folder is going to serve us in terms of understanding how we are going to create this project, if there is other files within this folder, so that I can have a little bit of structure with my projects. So you can see that by listing I have no folder inside it. So that's why I'm going to create the first project of Flutter. So I'm not going to go in the details of how Flutter is installed on your machine, but in simple terms, I'm going to go right away and use Flutter commands to create a project. So I have Flutter command here. I'm going to say Flutter and create, and here you're going to give a name of the project. You can even give the package name or package identifier of your project. Remember, Flutter is used to create Android and iOS and web and Mac OS, Linux and Windows. So all of these platforms has different mechanism of how to handle the platform specific differences, and this is really cool. Something I love about Flutter is that, whatever platform you're going to use, you are going to write one single code base, and you're going to deploy in all platforms supported, including webs. And this is really important for software engineers, especially startup, because startup doesn't have the funds or runaway capital that they're going to use to develop in different languages. So remember, having different languages, like two different languages to develop iOS and Android, is going to duplicate the amount of engineers that you're going to need in order to develop this project, which is going to be hard for startups. So this is why I strongly believe that using Flutter is just an advantage for anyone who wants to take advantage of one team, one single code base, and deploying to multiple devices as you can. So now this is the command I'm going to create a project. I'm going to call it demo because this is just for demonstration purpose. So you need to make sure that you have the internet when you run this command, because it's going to pull the project from online, and I mean the sources from online is going to create this project for you. So I prefer when I'm coding to use VS Code, but you can use anything you want, but I prefer VS Code because it is easy for me, easy to understand where the code base is located, and also easy to navigate through the code. So this is really important for that aspect. And you can choose Visual Studio or any code editor you prefer. But for me, I'm going to use the VS Code. So for this, I am going to just explain what this folder really has. So that's how you open the VS Code, and I'm going to share now the folder of the project that I have imported. So I think that is really important to understand how you can create a project, mastering that simple commands, and you'll be ready to go. So now we have a project, and we can surely now open it in VS Code, and I hope you can see it. So now the VS Code now is going to ask me, hey, you trust this author of this folder? Yes, it's me who created it, so I trust it. So sometimes there is a time when you download the folder on the internet, and you don't want just to run this code base, because you never know what can be inside that folder. It can be the virus, it can be something that is going to potentially harm your device. So it's really important for the VS Code that has included this security feature in order to give a little bit of credit for a developer who's trying to open a folder, maybe without knowing what can be the implication of a security related side. So now open this, I trust it. I'm going to close this. Now I'm going to open the default folder. So this is really important. So today probably I will not be writing any code base at all. So I will be explaining, and I think I will create a second video once I get a good reaction about this video. So that's why really it's really important for me if you comment this video and let me know if you like this video and you want to see more videos like this. I want to make sure that I explain everything like a beginner, and I try to make it simple for you in order to get an understanding of what is going on, especially in a starting phase like this one. Because if you're beginner, which I hope you are, it is really important for you to grasp these basics. So what are the basic I'm talking about here is just this main file, this main files, main function, which is the that code just to initialize a Flutter or that project. So like in Java we have main method also, and this main method is basically the initiation of your application. So once you initiate your application will be composed by a lot of classes, and these classes will be doing different things according to what you're trying to achieve. But basically when you start with one class, and this class is going to point you in different location of your project. So it is really important for you to understand that in all the beginning, you need to understand that that and further project should have main class, and this main methods, and main method is going to load at least one single class that is going to initiate a project. So for my case, you can say that my app is called my app, and which is the class that is extending the stateless widget. So I'm not going to go into object oriented uh, dilemma, which is out of the scope of this tutorial here. But here the simple terms you can understand that the my app is extending the stateless widget, which is the super class that has a lot of methods, has a lot of functionalities. Then we extend it, then we override one method. So that's all we have for this class. So once we have that, then we can start building the other classes and putting things together. So another thing I want you to do maybe as a homework is to Google what is Flutter widget, because in next video I will cover what is Flutter widget and why it is so important for you to understand that everything in Flutter is a widget. So once you understand that everything in Flutter is a widget, then it will create a good path for you to understand the next lesson. So now if this video really helped you to understand Flutter basics, I hope that you can consider subscribing to my channel, and also make sure that you turn on the notification so that the next video you won't miss it. And consider also joining our WhatsApp group, which you can see in this video description, where we have the community of Flutter developer, so that if you are stuck, you can get help with the community. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you next time. Thank you so much for watching my video. The right is not proper, but I'm working on it. Soon you'll be able to see a good quality of video, but everything starts from somewhere. And I hope the video really helped you to understand the basic of Flutter. Maybe I haven't explained what is Flutter in more details, but I hope that in next video, if you subscribe and turn on the notification, I'll be able to explain more and walk you through the code and just step by step so that we can learn together. So if you don't know about me, you may consider like knowing about me, who am I, so that I can be able to teach you. I am a software engineer by profession. I do software engineering on my daily job, and I do it as a hobby. For example, like this video after work, where I like to share the skills. I have over 7 years of software development. I've led a team of software engineers of different sizes, and now I'm working on a big company that is doing the payment, which I cannot maybe disclose here. But I have a good experience in software development, career, which I believe I have enough experience for me to be able to teach you anything about, not anything, but Flutter and Spring Boot related topic. So if you think you can trust me, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I can see you next time on my video, and let me know the video you want to see me covering, so because I need to learn from you and know what you need to see and grow your career. Thank you so much, and see you next time.